Alright, so welcome back to the channel. So this isn't going to be your standard tutorial. So this won't be covering any ways to get into a classic palm, but rather this is just a few touches for the classic palm and just ways to generally, I think, touch up on, improve it. Because, yeah. So just before we get started, I just want to give a brief history lesson because I like history. Classic palm. It's called a classic palm for a reason. It's the go-to manner to palm a card, to steal a card from the deck. As far as I know, there's probably not really a definitive source as to where it comes from. It's probably so old that we couldn't even trace it back. But where I learned the classic palm from is from YouTube, which is kind of embarrassing. Well, yeah, you're probably learning it from here too, but yeah. But the few touches that I want to give are from various sources. Various sources such as Ernest Earick, Tony Chang, and Dennis Kim. Those are all sources that I'll be touching on for my variation of the classic palm. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. As you already know, this is the standard classic palm, right? So pressure is held diagonally with your pinky and the base of the thumb. So yeah, you already know, and then your fingers are extended to cover the card, right? But unfortunately for me, I have bony fingers, so you can see that I have these windows, so no matter how it is, I can't fully cover it. Even if my hands are big enough, they're pretty much bony and this corner will flash, and that's why I decided to change my classic palm. So the classic palm that I'm going to show you guys is not reliant on the pinky finger, but rather on the ring finger. So rather than having the pinky finger apply diagonal pressure, what you're going to want to do is have your ring finger apply pressure, and then as a result you can have your pinky free to do whatever. Yeah. So you'll notice if I do this, this is gonna look really awkward, but there are some other touches that will help improve it. One is that you can spread your fingers apart. This might seem odd because the whole point of a classic palm is to cover the entire card, but that's not really necessary, especially because you're never gonna do this or this to an audience, right? Just for perspective, right? You're never gonna do this. So when you spread your fingers apart, you'll notice that at a certain angle, right, mainly between your index and middle finger, like this section, if this lines up with their line of sight, then they won't be able to see anything. So, and you'll realize as well that the shadows of your fingers actually contribute to hiding the card. This is an Ernest Earick idea from By Forces Unseen. And yeah, that's pretty much a modification. That's pretty much it for the core modification of the classic palm, right? So once again, a ring finger applies diagonal pressure from near the corner of the card, right, a bit past the pip, and onto the base of the thumb. So the pressure is done like so, rather than like so. that's about it. So yeah, but there are some other few optional modifications that I want to give, just so that you guys have more options. So you'll notice that because my pinky is no longer applying pressure on the upper left corner, I can actually freely place it on the long edge. And what this is meant to emulate is this, right? This position. So naturally, when my hands are just there, they make this position, right? And basically, with the palm card, the curled pinky on the side is meant to emulate that position. Obviously, that isn't really necessary. It's just there for, like, if you really want to, like, sell the illusion. But I think it's generally not that important. The second modification is that if you're afraid of the top right corner of flashing, you can actually move your index finger in front of the card, in front of the corner, so then you can ensure that this corner doesn't flash when you are palming. And yeah, I believe that is about it for most of the core modifications of the classic palm. Feel free to, message me, I guess. Just some other things I want to touch on concerning hiding a palm. There's also a Guy Hollingworth method of hiding a palm, which is just curling the pinky, the ring, and the middle finger, and extending your index finger so it seems like you're pointing something, right? So that's a Guy Hollingworth thing. You can learn more on his masterclass and his lecture with Studio 52. But generally, I'm not that big of a fan of it, simply because you have to bend a lot of the card, and it's really hard to unbend it unless you go through his routining. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Guy Hollingworth cover. Next, we also have, if you're planning on doing table work, rather than applying pressure with the ring finger or the pinky, if you want to do a normal classic palm, you can also curl your index finger in, so then it forms this, tent thing. So this is called a broken classic palm, and I believe this is by Alan Ackerman. I'm not certain. I'm gonna have to do some research on that, but generally I think that's his. And yeah, I think that's it for the for the touches on the classic palm. I'll do a few videos on how to get into the classic palm, but generally that's it. Some other resources for the classic palm is Jeremy Griffith has some videos on his YouTube channel concerning that, or it might be on Illusionist's channel, but generally his work has the classic palm involved. You can also check out Jason England's downloads on Theory 11. Those have, well, obviously Jason England, you already know it. You can also buy some classic books like Expert Card Technique, Expert at the Card Table, and stuff like that, and they'll most likely have the classic palm involved. And so yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this, not really tutorial, but like this slight technique update thing. So yeah, see you guys next time.